Welcome to our Cypress Automation test. Today's topic is interact web elements inside an iframe. Cypress does not natively support direct interaction with web elements inside an iframe because it operates in the single browser context. However, you can use workaround to access and interact with web elements inside an iframe. Use Cypress comments. Option 1. Use Cypress comments with web function. You can use Cypress get to locate the iframe, then use content to get in the HTML and wrap it with the Cypress web function to interact with web elements inside the iframe. Here the code get iframe, then go to here is web the body. From the body find web elements and click it. Option 2. Use custom Cypress comment. You can create a custom comment in the cypress/support/comments.js to simplify iframe interaction logical. Define the first step. Define the custom comment in cypress/support/comments.js. Here code, you put the Cypress comment, add the code. This is the function get iframe body. And here is check the iframe and make iframe is find the body, and the body is not empty. Step 2. Use custom command in your text. Here is you defined in the command file is get iframe body. Use the iframe name and find web elements and click. Option 3. Use iframe plugin. You can install Cypress iframe plugin to streamline iframe interactions. Here is a npm install Cypress iframe. Second step, configure the plugin in the cypress/support/e2e.js or index. In the to file, you can put the first line is requirement Cypress iframe. Step 3. Use the plugin in your text. You use this is a defined function iframe loaded, and check this iframe load. And here in the iframe find web elements, click. Handle sessions within the iframe. You can also perform sessions on web elements inside an iframe. Use above technicals. Verify elements inside the iframe. You can use this code. Next here is web, the iframe, and find the web elements h1. And this h1 should contain welcome text. Best practice for handle iframes in the Cypress. Ensure iframe is loaded. Use should exit or iframe load to verify that iframe had loaded before the interacting. Increase timeout if necessary. If the iframe loads slowly, increase the timeout for comments. Use custom comments for reusability. Encapsulate iframe logical in the custom commands for clear text scripts. Handle cross-original restriction. If iframe pointer to an external domain, ensure the page supports the same original policy, as Cypress cannot interact with the cross-original frames. Let's start coding. Okay, I open Visual Studio Code. Under my script, I add the new file. I call this new file, name this new file iframe cy.js, this file. So in this file, put this one is for the Cypress test. And before each, we put this function, and here is a localhost web page, and port number is 3000. And this one is a general interactive web elements. I use this for the interact with web elements inside iframe directly and see what happened. So we can run this test. So first we see this is a web page. Here is H2 name, and this is a text box, and add something, and this is a radio button. This is a select. This is select. I use this reset clean all the value. So let's first run direct with the elements inside iframe. See what happened. npx Cypress open. Okay, I use cron for test. I run the iframe. So get the parent's name. You see, cannot get the parent's name. Because I use the retry, so try 3 times and then get finally fail. You see, try 3 times. And each of them cannot find the name. So this name is there, but cannot find. Why? Because this in a iframe. Cypress not directly interact with the web elements in the iframe. So this function use a direct not work. So we go to the code. Let's see what we can do. I comment this one. And uncomment this one. This is use the iframe web function. So this is not direct with the web. So web elements. So first get the iframe and then web, and find the iframe body and web as a constant body. So each function, like the core Cypress web, use this constant body and find the web elements. This one is find web elements H2. This H2 should contain children care registration. And this is the find the name and type this in the name text box. And this is find the email, type email. This is find the telephone and type telephone. This is select gender and click. And this is select server and select children care. And this is reset, click, reset order value is click. So I see what happened for this one. I save. So it's you see it's work. Okay, first find the H2 and access this H2 container text and wrap the body. And from body, find the name. And you say here is body, find the name. And find different web elements. Do something. You say find the name, tap this one. And find the email, tap this one. Find the telephone, and tap this one. And click agenda and web and select service and click reset all of the thing. So this is a path. This is option 1. Use option 1. And then we go to here. I'll show you how to use version 2. Yeah, version 2. You say web option 2. We use a comment write a comment in a comment JS. So you find this one is like a support comment .js. So in this one, you say I put the here different. You say I put this function function here. You see the Cypress comment add new function. This function we call get iframe body. So we do this wrap all body. You say check the body, and then when the body existent, so get a return body. So when the in the comment custom comment in the comment .js, we give the name is this one. So other script can call this function and use this function. So I put here comments .js, and then I call from the iframe. You see here, then go back to the. You see, I use the get iframe body. This iframe we use the because our iframe the name ID is iframe. So from this iframe find the H2, and this can contain text, and find the find the name and tap this one, find the email, tap this one, find the phone, tap this one, and do the reset. So what we can see is run the test. So I go to the here. You say here is in user comments line comment. Yeah, you see here we get each step is a pass. Each step is a pass. Each step pass. And this is option 2. We talk about we have the option 3. So general, I go to here. I stop this one. Okay. And for the option 3, in the terminal, we tap the command install -d cypress-iframe. Because I install, I think it's not, it's running, yeah. And okay, I finish install. And then go to the e2e.js in the support here. You see here, I import Cypress-iframe. This you need, yeah, you need for this one. So after this one, I go to the iframe file. You see here, I come out this one. I will use the option 3. So this is option 3. Option 3 use the plugin, like iframe plugin function. Iframe plugin function is frame loaded. So check this iframe load. then use this iframe find web elements, do the action, find web elements name and tap this one, and find the email, tap this one, find the phone number and tap this one, or use the iframe and find the web elements and then action, action what you want. Okay, so I save this one and run the test again. So Cypress open. You say it's work, yeah, it's work. So option 3 is work. So we can use the 3 options to handle iframe in Cypress test. Thank you for your watching our today's video. If you like it, please hit like and subscribe to follow our update. Thanks. See you next time. Welcome to our Cypress Automation testing tutorial. Today's topic is handling multiple browser windows. If you are working with Cypress and need to handle multiple browser windows, such as opening a new window and switch between them, Cypress does not support multiple tabs or windows directly. However, you can work around this limitation using different approaches. Solution 1. Stable the window open method. Since Cypress runs in a single browser tab, you can intercept and control the behavior of new windows. Here is the code. This is stable, open a new window, and here is get the link, click, and tap the text in the text area. Solution 2. Use a Cypress visitor function instead of a new window. If a new window is just open a URL, you can capture that URL and navigate to it manually. This is the code. You see here is a link golf course. Get this link, pass this link URL to the visitor function. Solution 3. Work with target equal underscore black links. If clicking a link opens a new tab, remove the target equal underscore blank attribute before clicking. This is the code. You say get that link before the click, remove the target. Switch back to original window. Since Cypress does not truly support multiple windows, the best way to switch back is to store the initial URL and navigate back to it. Here is the code. You see this is original URL, and visit new URL and switch back original URL. Handling cross-origin domains in Cypress. By default, Cypress enforces same origin policy, meaning it does not allow navigation between the different domains within a single test. However, in real-world applications, you may need to test scenarios when the user interacts with multiple domains. Cypress introduced Cypress origin function to handle cross-origin navigation. Here is the origin function. Here is original domain. And wrap this function so can do one is check the title, one is type something in the search box. First, look at the website. We will use it for testing. There are two links in the web page. Click the link will open a new window. First test, click Web Elements link. You see here is Web Elements page. We want to test something in the text area. This is one test. Another test, click this link, go for courses. Open another window. You see here, we want to search something in the search box. Okay, let's start for the coding. Here is the coding. First, we just directly click the link, open a new window. For click the link is Web Elements. So I run the test. You see, test can open the new window Web Elements, but the page gets the cross-original error. So you can see here, error is cross-original error. So we can back for the code. See what we just comment on this one and use method we learning. One is solution one. We will just get solution one open and see what we can do. Okay, this solution one is use a stable window open. We run the test. Just kidding. We continue running. Yeah, you see this is solution one. We back for the code. I want use this open window. Also, I use origin function to wrap the comment for run a test. So I just add this get a text area, type something in the text area. You see, success of running. We use the origin function and also we can type something in this text area. Then we use the solution to use a visitor function. You say use solution to visitor function. First one, we get the link, click the link, then pass. Here is, you see I check the title still the is like when to get this one, and the title is changed, not local, is for the admin Lucent, and get the search box and type something in it. Okay, this is a solution 2. We go. We see the code for the solution 3. This one is first click the link, remove the target, I check the title, page title, then I use the origin function, this origin domain, then check the title again and type ski golf course in the search box. You see successfully running. So first one, I visit the local host, then get the link, golf course, and click the link. Click link. Then I check the title. You see title, this page is a new page, but the title still previous local host title. Then wait a second, use origin function web. So this time we check the title again. You see title is a new page title. Then get in import search box. You see here, and type ski golf course in the search box. So return is just a ski golf course. So this is solution 3. Another code is a switchback original window. You see here is visit this first we define the original URL. This is localhost, and then use this visit function. Use this URL function and visit new URL, and this is use web function and find the page title and type golf course to search, then switch back origin URL. You see here is a visitor. Use this visitor, then original function. Log this page. You see this page is here, and type something in a search box, and get search is return the results, and then switch back origin URL. We can use the 3 solution to open new windows use a origin function to wrap comments that make those comments run successfully in the new windows. If you like our video, please hit like and subscribe to follow updates. Thank you. See you next time.
In today's video, we're talking about behavior-driven development in Selenium automation testing. So BDD, behavior-driven development, is largely facilitated using a simple domain-specific language and using lateral language constructs. For example, English-like sentences that can express the behavior and the expected outcomes. Cucumber, gherkin, keywords, given, when, then, and are used to define the different criteria in BDD for cucumber gherkin. An example of a test case in cucumber gherkin, which is a feature file. This is shown here. So we have the scenario, which is search for golf by name. We have the keywords given, when, and then. Given I open the browser, when I go to this browser URL and I type in Tiger Golf in the search box, then I should see the golf course Tiger Golf. So this then is like a assert statement. So here is a flowchart on how this usually works. Usually we have some communication among QAs, developers, and clients, and then we create BDD test cases that are assembled as similar to English sentences. And then we run our cucumber test, step definitions, and our Cypress project. So how to set up BDD in Cypress Automation? You create a new project, you run commands from the terminal or command line. So these are the commands that we run. So you use make directory to create your automation test, npm init, npm install Cypress. You also do a bunch of other commands. For Cucumber, you can modify your Cypress plugins index, modify Cypress JSON file, and then that's basically the gist of the whole automation process. So the project structure, this is what the project structure looks like for an example project. Okay, so next I'm going to show you what you can run in your command prompt to start up your project and then begin coding your own project using Cucumber Gherkin. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a directory. So I'm going to go ahead and do make directory automation test. And I'm going to cd into that directory. After that, let's do npm init -y. And then I'm going to install Cypress. So I'm installing a specific version of Cypress that is compatible with Cucumber Gherkin. And then next, I'm going to do this. So this basically allows you to configure Cypress and run a bunch of different tests using Cypress to show that Cypress is working. So it gives you a pop-up window that looks like this, and you'll basically see a bunch of different different tests that you can run, and you can configure different things. But I'm going to go ahead and close this for now because we don't need this. And then I'm going to install Cucumber Gherkin. And once this is installed, we'll start modifying our own project. So we'll have to modify the index files, the Cypress JSON files, and a bunch of different test files as well. So I'll show that to you next. Okay, so next I'm going to show you some of the code that I've written. So I've already written the code, so I'm just going to go through the project and show you what changes that I've made. So the first thing that I did was I went into the integration folder right here, and I created a new folder, feature. And within feature, I created some different tests that we can run. So for golf, we have golfsteps.js, and then we have the golf.feature file that is associated with it. And then for login steps, we have this and the login feature file associated with that too. I'll go through that a little bit more in detail later. For the login, we also have a login JSON as well, which basically gives us the username and password and so on. I also created some other files as well. For example, we have under the plugins folder, we have this file right here, index.js. And basically for this one, there's a few things that I do. So the first thing I do is I require this package that I'm using right here, browserify preprocessor. And then I go here and I basically set up some of the options and some configurations for it as well. So I use these configurations right here. And then I use this require statement as well. So if you want to use the same configurations, you can go ahead and copy this, or you can just use your own configurations as well. This is not super important. After that, I also went under, and modified our cypress.json file. So that's this one right here. And in this file, I specified a few things. So the first thing is I specified the base URL. So this is the website that we'll be testing. I also specified that test files will be under the .feature file name. So these are these files right here. They have the extension .feature. And then I also specified that Cypress Cucumber preprocessor, they'll use these configurations right here. So let me go ahead and show you the code for some of the test cases that we have. The first one, I'll show you the login steps right here. So the login steps, this is what it looks like. Before we go into this, I want to show you the Cucumber Gherkin file. So for login.feature, I have it right here. So basically, this feature is basically the login feature, and I'm a user and I want to log into ADM Lucid. So that's the website. So I give the scenario, login CCL with username and password. Given I open the login page, when I enter the username and password, click on login, and then the login will fail. So we're testing for a failure of logging in. So going to the JavaScript file right here, this is how I use it. So I'm importing given, then, and when from Cucumber. And then with that, I'm going to each of my statements. So given, when, and then. So for given, I'm using I open the login page. And this is associated with this one over here. So given I open the login page and so on. And then when I enter username and password, click on login. And then right here, I'm basically importing the email, password, and I'm trying to click on login. And right here, I'm basically expecting it to fail. So I'm using then login will fail. And I'm checking this by using this XPath right here and checking that it'll basically return invalid login attempt. So I'm going to go ahead and run this and show you how it look like. So I'll run npx cypress open. And it'll basically create a pop-up. And basically it'll create something that looks like this. And you'll see that under the feature folder, under integration tests, that you have these. So I can click on login.feature and it'll run login.feature. So we see that it tries to log in and it fails. And you can see that we see it from this text right here, invalid login attempt right there. So that's that. Let's show you the next test. So for the next test, we have basically golf.feature. This one is a little bit more complex. This is the feature, golf. I'm a user and I want to search for golf course and select golf courses from countries. And so basically on our URL, we have this option to search for a golf course and also filter the option based off of country. So this first scenario outline is basically searching for the golf course. Given I open the golf page, when I enter golf course, and then this is a parameter name right here. And so for this parameter name, it can use any of the three right here. So golf vacations, Wadera's Country Club, Heritage Point Golf Course. Then I click on search and I validate returning correct golf course. And this is the golf name again, which is this parameters right here. We don't count the first one because that's the parameter name and right here. Next scenario is list country for golf courses. Given I open the golf page, when I select country name for golf courses, then I click on filter and I validate golf course in the country name right here. And we're using two countries, Mexico and Cuba. So go ahead and run this again. So this is the golf.feature. And we see that it's searching right here and then filtering right here for the country. So it's going through each of the search ones. So this is the first search example. So it has 3 search examples as we define in the feature file, and it'll go through each of them. And then it'll try to search for the country. And so this is searching for the country, and I see that there's an error that popped up right here. So I'm going to go ahead and fix this. So I identified there's a typo right here, and it wasn't able to identify the configurations for this when statement right here. So I changed it so that it matches it. So now when I select this golf course for golf courses, this should match right here when I select country name for golf courses, and this should solve the error that we have. And oh yeah, so now it runs it, and then it solves the error, and we get what's expected from our results. So one thing that's very important is that your feature file should match your JavaScript description tag within right here. So yeah, so that's Cucumber Gherkin, and that's how you can run automation tests using Cucumber, using English-like language. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to our Cypress Automation Test tutorials. Today's topic is stimulates more realistic user interactions. Cypress Real Events plugin enables stimulation of more realistic user interactions than the standard Cypress commands like click, tap, etc., which are JavaScript triggered and may not trigger all native browser behaviors or third-party libraries that listen for the real domain events. Plugin name Cypress Real Events. Purpose: stimulate real user interactions using the browser native event system. Common use cases: handling complex event listeners, tool tips, hover, etc. Installation: npm install Cypress Real Events. Import method: add import Cypress Real Events support in your commands.js or e2e.js file. Available commands: real click stimulates a real mouse click. Real hover stimulates hover, useful for the drop-downs or tool tips. Real tap taps text with real keyboard events. Real press presses a keyboard key like Enter, Tap, arrow down. Real touch stimulates touch events. Real mouse down, real mouse up stimulates mouse down up actions. Real swipe stimulates swipe for mobile. Example test scenarios: real click, Cypress get a button and real click it. Hover to tool tip, Cypress get a tool tip icon, real hover to. Tap text, Cypress get import, real tap hello. Press enter, Cypress get import, real press enter. Example test case. Test case ID, test case title, precondition, test steps. First, visit the tooltip page. Second, use real hover on the info icon. Third, verify tooltip appears. Expected result: tooltip becomes visible. Okay, let's start coding. First, open Visual Studio Code. In the terminal, we install Cypress Real Events plugin. Fix the issue. Okay, most fix. And in this file support.js, we need to import a copy from other project, import here. Yeah, then I save. Under my script, I add a new script. Name is real events. Then I copy this code paste here. And the first one, I will show how we use real click. You see, we first visit the website, and this is before we use click, but this time we use real click. So when you type command content, you can see here real. You can see real click, real hover, real mouse down, real mouse up, real mouse wheel, and real press, real swipe, and real touch. Every comment is here. So you type real, and you can get the comments. So first I type the real click. So you see here we use all of the real click and the real hover and the real click. So this is the first code for the real click. So how I can run it? You see here is click the button one. So use a real click. Also, we click this one and click web elements, use real click. Okay, I do another code for real tap. So I okay, so this is a real tap. Go to the web page, we find the test one and the real tap something. So here is a real click and get the test. This is the test one and click the text one. input box and then use real tap welcome press. So let's run the script as first save. Okay, I like. You see here, go to the page and tap click and rear click, and then go to this page and find the text import text box one, and then click and tap something in it. Okay, we use another method. We use real hover. So I save. Oh. You see here is go this page and URL and get button 3 and real hover to the button 3. Wait for the second for we can see. Yeah, this is for the real hover. We look at another method we call the real press. The second time is pass. You see here is a click and click and get a text box 1 focus and real hover to and get and click and get this one and tap the tap press tap. Okay, we continue to look at the other commands, real commands like real touch, real mouse down and up, and real mouse wheel. And we copy the code from our project and paste here. You see, just real touch is like real touch get this one web elements and real touch. And here is real mouse down. Click this import box and real down and real up, mouse up. And here is get this real click and get division and real mouse wheel. So let me run this code. Okay, we first see the real touch. You can see here, click this one, and here is real touch. You see real touch, this box. And here is mouse down and mouse up. You see here is mouse down. And wait second, and then is mouse up again. You see here is where Yeah, you see here is well. So this is today's topic. Thank you for watching our today's video. If you like it, please hit like and subscribe to follow our updates. See you next time.
In today's video, we're going to talk about using Cypress Automation testing for mobile devices and just simulating mobile devices to test your web applications. So a significant portion of web traffic comes from smartphones and tablets. Ensuring mobile usability directly impacts user experience and engagement. So here are some stats. Global web traffic from mobile is about 58 to 65%. About 53% of users, they abandon non-mobile web-friendly websites. Google uses mobile-first indexing, so there's an impact on SEO. So why we need to test web applications on mobile devices? Here are a few reasons. The first one, user behavior. A significant portion of web traffic comes from smartphones and tablets. Ensuring mobile usability directly impacts user experience and engagement. The second reason is responsive design verification. Testing confirms that the UI adapts correctly to various screen sizes, orientations, and resolutions. There's also functional compatibility. Mobile browsers may behave differently from desktop ones, so tests ensure consistent functionality across devices. There's also a performance assessment aspect. Mobile devices often have less processing power and slower connections, making it critical to test performance under such constraints. And then we talk about touch and gesture support. Mobile users interact via touch, swipes, pinches. Testing ensures that these inputs are supported and handled properly. So this is a different way of looking at it. Mobile device testing importance. So ensuring your web application delivers a seamless and consistent experience across mobile devices is critical for usability, accessibility, and customer satisfaction. First, we simulate device viewports. Second, we validate layout and responsiveness. Third, we verify mobile-specific features like collapsible menus and swiping. Fourth, we monitor performance under limited network conditions. Fifth, we execute tests on actual devices or emulators for accuracy. How to use Cypress to test mobile devices. Cypress supports mobile testing by allowing simulation of device screen sizes using their viewport function or by resizing the browser window. So here are the steps. Set mobile viewport size or device name. You visit the website, you interact with the elements as usual, and then you validate the layout and responsiveness and functionality. Supported mobile devices in Cypress. We have the iPhone 5, iPhone 6, 7, 8, iPhone 10, iPad mini, Samsung S10. These are just a few, but there's many, including the newer iPhones and the newer Samsungs and Android phones as well. So what are Cypress plugins we use for this topic then? Well, first we use Cypress Real Events. So we can install it using npm. We also use Cypress Mobile Commands, which we also install using npm like this. And this is how we import it as well. Okay, so now I have my project open and I have some example code that you can look at on how to use these different packages in Cypress. So first, let's test two different functions right here. The first one visits this website and it just uses the desktop version of the website. But the second one, it uses the iPhone version for viewpoint. And in the second one, because we're using the iPhone viewpoint, what we have to do is we have to use touch and swipe. So these are gestures that are specific to mobile experiences. So for the first function, basically what we're doing is we're going to this website and then we're seeing if these buttons exist. So it should be visible. We're seeing if the nav bar exists, so it should not be visible. For the second one, we're doing the same thing. We're going to grab the nav bar toggle and we're going to see if it exists or is visible. and then we're going to click it with a real touch. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to see if the page contains flights, and then we're going to swipe all the way to the bottom. So let's see how this goes. So I type npx cypress open, it'll open a Cypress window. And this is what we're testing. So open that up. And we see it's using the mobile, the desktop website. And then now it's using the mobile website. And it used basically gestures to open up the toggle and also swipe around the website. So that concludes, or it's still loading from swiping to the bottom. So give it some time. It's a bit slow, but that's generally the idea of what's going on. So instead of waiting for it, let's proceed and look at the next few tests that we have prepared. Okay, we'll return to our code. I'm going to comment these out just so we can see it more clearly what we're doing. So next, we're going to go to the same website, and we're going to use a different viewpoint instead. So this is going to be an Android viewpoint, and then we're going to look for the search input box, and then we're going to type this. So I'll go ahead and save this, and then we'll return to our Cypress, and we'll see that it automatically loads. So display mobile web content search. It basically searches for this flight right here, AC226. So that's good. Let's go back to here, and then we're gonna go ahead and comment out this again. And this time we're gonna work with some different websites and see what we can do with these mobile testing. So I'm gonna comment out this, and then we're gonna look right here. So we're gonna use Google Maps. We're going to use Samsung S10 viewpoint. So this is an Android phone. And then we're going to see if it contains hotels. And then we're going to use the swipe gesture. So this means from right to left. Again, we're going to use the swipe. We're going to look for Loop City, and then we're going to swipe left to right. And then we're going to wait. So let's see what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead and save this. It'll automatically load into Cypress. Open this up. So it goes to Google Maps. So it timed out, but we see that it's able to find Loop City, and it's able to find a couple other ones as well. So I'm going to go ahead and rerun this test. Okay, so it was being a little finicky. We weren't able to find Loop City. So I went ahead and comment this out, and we're going to load this again and see what it looks like. So basically, we run all tests again. And we see it's just interacting with the Google Maps interface, the mobile interface. As we see, it's using the mobile viewpoint. Go ahead and return back to here. This time, we're going to test using something else. So we're going to test using our own localhost website. So I'm going to go ahead and comment out this. And we're using the Samsung S10 viewpoint. And basically, we're going to localhost 3000. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a bunch of gestures of swipes. So first is we're going to see if the page contains swipe left to go to about. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to swipe. And then we're going to see the page where it says swipe left to go to contacts and right to return to home. and then we're going to swipe right to left again. And then we're going to look and wait for 4 seconds each time. We're going to swipe right to go to about, and again, we're going to swipe left to right, and then wait again, and then we're going to swipe left to go to contact, right to return to home. So this is what we see. So we'll swipe from right to left again. And so it's just a bunch of swipe gestures that we can use in our own localhost website. So I went ahead and I started the localhost website, so we can just go ahead and run this. So I'll just save this, and it should automatically run onto our Cypress. So we see it run, so swipe left to go to about. We see this text right here. So we'll go ahead and swipe, and then wait 4 seconds, and then swipe left to go to contact home. They find it, they swipe again. They find swipe right to go to about. They'll swipe again. Swipe left to go to contact, right to return to home, and it'll swipe. And it'll just continue those series of commands. And we see that this is using the Samsung S10 viewpoint. You can see the number of pixels, 360 by 760. And there we go. It's done. So one nice thing you can do is you can look at each of these steps and how they went by. But yeah. So that's how you can use these real events in mobile testing to basically test your websites on mobile websites and testing the mobile web applications. We showed you a few examples in this video. One was using this airport website. The second was using the Google Maps website. And the third was using a localhost website. Testing mobile websites on these websites. Testing these mobile websites involves a series of mobile gestures. So we talked about mobile touch, which is basically like clicking on the website. So real touch. We also talked about using mobile for swiping. So we used real swipe. So this one goes swipe to the bottom. So that's for real events, but there's also the other package for mobile. And we basically showed you how we can use those as well. So we used swipe. This is swiping from right to left. And we also used viewpoint to define what kind of viewpoint we want for a mobile application. So you can use Samsung S10, you can use iPhone XR, and you can use more modern phones as well. And yeah, so this is how to test your web applications on mobile devices. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
Welcome to our Cypress Automation Tester scenario talks. Today we are talking about if plugin within function. Cypress If Plugin allow you to conditionally run Cypress comments based on the existence or state of domain elements, something not natively supported by Cypress due to its comment queuing nature. Cypress If is a Cypress plugin that introduces if, else, if methods into the Cypress chain, enable you to conditionally execute blocks of the Cypress comments during text execution. First step, install plugin. Use npm install Cypress If. Import, register the plugin in your support file, e2e.js or index.js. Import Cypress-if in the support file. Use if, else, and else if in your text as needed. Future. If condition. Execute the following comments only if condition is true. Else. Define an alternative path when if condition false. Else if condition. Choose an additional conditional check. Conditional types. Supports exist, visible, enable, or custom function. Within is a separate comments that sculpt all subsequent comments to the specific domain elements. Issue interactions and accession only apply within that context. Within is used to limit the separate comments context to the specific element on the page, that is the form, table, or section. This is helpful for avoiding ambiguity when there are multiple similar elements. Best practice. Use within for repeated structure. Keep select short and avoid conflicts. Avoid nested too deep. Deep nesting may reduce text clarity. Always verify contents elements exist. Prevent false positive by ensure get succeed. I open Visual Studio Code and in the terminal type npm install Cypress if. I always install it. In the support file, support for my version is e2e.js. So I put the import Cypress if in this support file. And I add a new file, I name it if plugin. So let me see this one. You see, first test, I go to our web page, web elements. When web elements, I find it is like a button 1. If button 1 is available, click. If not available, just give the information. So I run the Cypress. Run this file. Okay, so you see here is this button variable, so click this button. If I change this one, I give the button 2. We rerun it. So you see here, because this ID we don't have the button 2, so cannot find the ID with button 2. This is the class name. And you see here is just for our code is access this is 4. So just log button is not available, not click. Yeah, so you can see the code is here. If available, click. If not available, else. Log button is not available. Okay, we see another test case. We say if the button is enabled, we click it. So when I find the button is like this is a weight of 45. If enable, click. If not enable, just log button is disabled. Then get this again. So if disable, log button is disabled. If not disabled, just click. Let me see the web page. Web page have this button. If click is disabled to the 15 minutes of second, then enable. So after click is here you see the disable. So our test is do this check. So I save it. Let's see. Okay, I rerun it. You see here is access. This button is enable. Click. And here is get again. Access the button is disabled. And log button is disabled. So you can see here is disabled. Here is enable. Okay, we see another case. This time is go to the web page, the golf. So we see general. If we go to the golf, when here is a golf course, search golf course, and then general, if you not log in, we cannot see the delete link. So the tester will check, search for the golf. If log in, we should have the delete button. If no delete button, and log in and show up. So that is tester 1. You see here, go to search for the text A. And you see here is contains the delete. If available, click. Otherwise, you should log in. So this case, use this function log in and search this again and find this is available, delete. Let me see the code I put into the here. You see, I not actually delete, but you can see here, when I go to the page and golf course page and tap the scan test A and click, you find the test A, but test A you see don't have the link delete because not log in. So access this delete link not available. So go to the login, call the login function and do this one and log in. You see here log in and go to this page again, tap search test A. You see here, click test search, and this time you see here test A contains the delete link. So this delete link is come up. So click is go to the delete page. Okay, we look at the example for the within function. In the golf course page, we have the here we inspection the function. So you can see here we have the two table. One is here is a table, and another is here is a table. So have the two table here. But for the table, we see all use the table. So when you use the table within the elements, you should define a table and find something. So this is for example. I just use this for the test. Go to the golf course and get table. Get table is you see I have the table 2 table. So I go to the first table. In the first table, I use within function find the import search string, type ABC golf course, and click the search button. So this is contained in the table 1 is the search, click, and we can see here. Let me run this. You see, find this one. So it's here. You see, we use just for the within the first table. And the first table will have many of the buttons. So I want to click this button also. Yeah, let me change the code. I add if a container book golf course, we click this one. You see here is a book one, yeah, book a golf course. Today I showed test code for if plugin within function. Hope you like our video. If you want to follow updates, please subscribe. See you next time.